You warm the towels, test the water, you steady your breath. Okay, mom, time to freshen up. You go over to your mom to give her a bath. She swats your hand away. No. If that sounds familiar to your care partners, then today's video is for you, because what appears to be stubbornness from your loved one with dementia around bathing is actually a scared brain desperately trying to be safe. Today I'm going to teach you why the bathroom has become a battlefield and the steps you can take to make it feel like a comfortable place again. I'll teach you what to say, what to do, and you'll have an action plan ready to implement this week. This week, care partners. Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist, dementia care specialist, and founder of the Confident Caregiver Academy. Let's jump on in. Bath refusal isn't stubbornness, care partners, although boy does it feel that way. Dementia changes the way the brain processes information, the way it processes temperature, sound, depth, or even the way it processes threat. And so what feels like a comfortable shower to you can feel like icy needles against your loved one with dementia's skin. Shiny tile can look like holes in the floor for them. And then executive function also breaks down for your loved one with dementia. Executive function refers to the ability to string steps together. So step 1, undress. Step 2, get into the tub. Step 3, wash up. That starts to break down for your loved one with dementia. Let's translate all of those brain changes into a step-by-step plan that you can implement this week. Sensory overload. The first reason dementia causes bath time battles is sensory overload. The insula, the part of the brain that's responsible for processing touch and temperature, that starts to degrade with dementia. And so sensations against your loved one's skin does not register in the same way that it does for us. So a gentle, nice stream of warm water against our skin now feels like stabbing icy needles to your loved one's skin. Add to that the echoes in a bathroom. The echoes in a bathroom sound great to us. In fact, we start singing in a bathroom and it makes our voice sound wonderful. But the harsh, hard echoes in the bathroom for a dementia-affected brain almost makes things sound like thunder. Like loud clapping thunder sounds. So this is no longer a comfortable experience for your loved one with dementia. The water now feels like stabbing needles against their skin. The sounds in the bathroom now have become scary and sound like thunderstorm. This is no longer a relaxing, comfortable experience. You can see why your loved one with dementia is swatting your hand away and saying, no, I'm not going in there. I don't want to do that. It's not a comfortable experience for them anymore. One of my caregivers came into session so frustrated one day. She was giving her father a shower and he yelled, "Ow, you're hurting me." And she's like, "Dr. Sinclair, I am so gentle. I'm probably more gentle with him than I was with my newborn. And he's going around telling everyone, lying on me, telling everyone that I'm hurting him." And then, care partners, I had to explain to her exactly what I just explained to you, that it actually does hurt for him. What she's feeling in her body is a completely different experience than what he's feeling in his body because of what dementia is doing to his brain. It's so unfair. He really is feeling these things, and so you have to be even more gentle. And I know that that sounds so bizarre, care partners, but this is your brain. It controls everything, even the way that touch and temperature gets processed. So I want for you to pause and reflect on this, care partner. Think about your last bath time struggle. Did your loved one with dementia describe the water as, "Ow, this hurts," or the water is too sharp, or "Ow, it's stinging," or is it too hot or too cold? Think about what they're saying, care partners, in that moment. It will give you clues as to what the experience is for them. Now let's move on to the second reason that bath times have become battles. Depth perception distortions. The second reason your loved one with dementia is likely refusing baths, care partners, is because of depth perception distortions. What do I mean by that? Well, your parietal lobe, this part here in the middle, care partners, is responsible for processing information about distance, depth, as well as what's around us in space. So for example, I can close my eyes and I can navigate where the storage box is, even though I'm not looking at it, because I have a healthy parietal lobe. Well, for your loved ones with dementia, that part of the brain is slowly getting damaged. And so they're not able to interpret depth of things or things around them in space very easily. And so what could be a little bit of water in a tub can appear to be deep water to them. And so it makes it really scary for them. Or the glare from a light up above shining on the tile, that can make things look really slippery to them. So they're afraid to, fall. So what you're noticing in terms of depth perception, care partners, is not necessarily what a dementia-affected brain is taking in. One of my care partners noticed that her mother would not step into the tub, was just, kind of staring down at the tub. And from our trainings together, she was able to recognize, okay, my mom's brain is probably having a completely different experience than what my brain is having. And her mom, of course, has lost the ability to communicate what's going on. Well, with our detective work, my care partner was able to recognize they have dark tile. Okay, care partners, dark tile to a dementia-affected brain looks like a gaping hole. It looks like if you step into it, you're going to fall and you're just going to keep on falling down. Sorry, my pen just fell. Right on cue. So this dark tile looked like a gaping hole to her mom's brain. And so her mom was not stepping in the tub. We brought in a bath mat, a bright bath mat, to help with the depth processing. And then her mother comfortably stepped into the bath because her mom did not feel like she was going to slip and fall down into this never-ending pit. So another reflection point for you, care partners, I want for you to think about the setup of your bathroom. Could it be creating a false sense of danger for your loved one with dementia? Remember, what you're seeing and experiencing is not necessarily what they are seeing and experiencing. So I'm giving you this education so that you can go into these experiences with a detective eye to figure out, what could this be? What could be happening for my loved one with dementia? It's not stubbornness, care partners, it's neurobiology. Something is happening for them. If this is helpful to you, care partners, then please go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel so that I can help other caregivers who've never learned any of this and who are struggling just like you. Now let's move on to sequencing breakdown, and that's executive function decline. The third reason, care partners, that your loved ones with dementia are refusing to bathe is because their executive functioning skills are breaking down. What do I mean by that? Bathing is actually a really complex task. It doesn't feel like that to you and to me because we've been doing it for so long, right? And we're doing it with a healthy brain. But for a dementia-affected brain, it's a really complex task with lots of steps. You're unbuttoning buttons, you're zipping things down. Then you step into the shower, then you adjust the water, then you are making sure not to slip, and you're reaching out for different soaps, etc. That ability to sequence steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, that's also breaking down for your loved one with dementia. So this just feels so overwhelming and complicated and confusing to a dementia-affected brain. What used to be as simple as 1, 2, 3 is now a complex process for your loved one with dementia. They may start undressing and then forget what to do next, or they may step into the shower and start to adjust things and then forget what the next step is. So they get very easily overwhelmed and confused because of that executive functioning decline. One of my care partners, as she was helping her husband, she said that she's holding the towel waiting for him to finish, and he would lather himself up and just stand there. And initially she was very confused and baffled by this behavior. Like, she would have to tell him, step under the water, right? And she would sometimes get angry and impatient with him because he would do all the things. He would undress just fine, he'd get in just fine, he'd lather up just fine, and then he'd just stand there, frozen. And so she didn't know why he was just standing there frozen until again she learned these concepts. Well, he doesn't know the next step. He actually forgot the next step, or it's just not coming to him. He's struggling with executive function. So, care partners, if you're noticing that your loved one with dementia is just sometimes standing there with towel in hand or standing there with washcloth in hand, I know it seems like stubbornness to you, but to them, it can be so many things going on for them. So please give them a bit of grace and give yourself a bit of grace. You didn't know any of this until you saw this video. So reflection point for you, care partner. I want for you to pause for a moment. Think about the last time your loved one had a bath. Do they freeze mid-task not knowing what comes next, that's an indicator of executive dysfunctioning or executive function decline. Now let's move on to an important concept that a lot of people don't talk enough about: vulnerability and dignity. Just because your loved one with dementia has dementia doesn't mean that they've lost this sense of vulnerability during showers or a sense of dignity. That's not gone for them as yet. So the fourth reason that I often see loved ones with dementia refuse bath is because of this concept. Now, care partners, I don't have to tell you this. Clothing, our clothes, that's an armor for us. Can you imagine going to the supermarket naked, going to work naked? Now, some of you I know would probably love to do that. I'm not judging you. But for most of us, we do not want to walk out of our homes naked. Why? Because being naked feels vulnerable, right? We feel exposed if we're naked. And that's the same for your loved one with dementia. Everything is out. They're already feeling confused and vulnerable and unsafe a lot of the times as it is. And now they have to strip down naked. That's a vulnerable experience for them. So bathing now means removing their armor, removing their clothing, and now they have to be in close proximity and space with someone else as they're vulnerable. Again, picture yourself naked in the supermarket and someone's just coming over next to you. I mean, right? That's just a really uncomfortable, vulnerable situation. As I'm talking about it, look at my body language, right? As I'm talking about it, it just feels uncomfortable. It feels unsettling for us to think about that. And so it's an uncomfortable experience for your loved one with dementia. And add to that, oftentimes their children are the ones showering them, or a spouse is the one showering them. They feel like they are losing a sense of their dignity and ability to do that, right? So it's a very intense emotional and psychological experience for your loved one with dementia. One of the ways that I advise my care partners to protect their loved one's dignity and to ensure that they're not feeling as vulnerable in those experiences is have your loved ones, if they feel comfortable wearing their bathing suit in the shower, then go ahead. Let them wear their bathing suit in the shower if that's going to protect their dignity. Another strategy here, care partner, is you can drape a towel around your loved one with dementia. If there's a bath stool in the bath or in the shower, which I do recommend for safety as well, care partners, if there's something there, your loved one with dementia can sit. You can drape a towel over their private parts. So for women, a towel can go over them like this, as well as across their lap. And for dad, the towel can go over the lap, and you can have a detachable sort of shower head that you can hand to your loved one with dementia, and then they can clean themselves up down there, right? It protects their dignity. It doesn't make them feel as vulnerable and open. So here's your reflection point, care partners. I want for you to think, how could you protect your loved one's dignity during bath time, recognizing that this is a really vulnerable position for them? Control and independence. A fifth reason that your loved one with dementia is likely refusing baths, care partners, is because of control and independence. Dementia is taking so much away from them. They are losing their independence, they're losing their autonomy, and so all that they have left sometimes is to say no. Right? Mom, would you like some water? No. Mom, would you like lunch? No. Mom, want to freshen up? No. Right? So that's actually a common reason for refusals, not only bath refusals, but many refusals, is that's all that they have left. Think of your 2-year-old, for those of you who are parents, when they were just learning their agency and autonomy. Everything was no. Also, they were hearing us say no to them a lot. And that's also what's happening to your loved one with dementia. They're hearing no a lot, and they're reflecting that back to you. So keep in mind that loss of agency has a big impact on your loved one with dementia saying no all the time. One of my caregivers shared with me that when she would encourage her husband to take a shower, he would say things like, stop bossing me around, or, you're not my mother. And she recognized, yes, oh my gosh, he's losing so much, right? And so here I am also dictating to him when to shower. And so she used other strategies that I'll go into in the next video, care partners, with how to overcome that, giving choices so that your loved one with dementia feels empowered by making their choice, as opposed to you dictating to them when they should and shouldn't shower. So here's another point of reflection for you, care partner. Could your loved one's resistance be more about control than about the bath itself. So if your loved one with dementia is not, shivering in fear, and it doesn't appear that they're having an uncomfortable experience, but their experience is more about you bossing them around, then how can you bring choices into this experience for them, right? Hey babe, would you like to take a shower before or after lunch? Would you like to take a shower before or after our visit with the grandkiddos? Okay, you can give them choices and they feel empowered that they're making the decision as opposed to you bossing them around. Okay, now you know the 5 hidden reasons for bath time refusals, care partners. It's not stubbornness, it's sensory overload, it's depth perception issues, it's sequencing breakdown, it's vulnerability, and the need for control. This video has become quite long, so I'm going to separate it into 2 parts. Go ahead and click the next video, care partners, to learn the common mistakes that you're making during bath time, as well as the strategies that you can implement this week. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.